So we had ended till Itha. Now it's time to take Hutta. And in Sanskrit Pali, especially in Pali, there is no much grammatical, but etymology is there. But in Sanskrit, it is both grammatical and etymological. So they both have the same kind of structure. Okay. Hutta comes from two words, or root is hu, to put. The here, something to put here. So if we go by that explanation. So Hutta means to offer, to put. Okay. Who is exactly putting? You put something. What you put is up to you, but you put something. So when I put something, what do I put? Ultimate aim is to put myself. That's ultimate. Okay. And then only you get into Nibbana. But for now, it's about understanding from the Lokiya, worldly point of view. That first I have to correct myself. So what Bobby was asking the other day, to put in fire or in oil or whatever ghee, is it making any sense? This is a long subject today, so I will try my best to restrict within 1 hour. Otherwise, this topic can go for days and makes no sense to just keep on expanding and expanding and expanding. We need to know the essence of doing it rather than argument about whether we should do it or we shouldn't do it. In fact, you shouldn't do it, but to finish the worldly things, you have to do it. So Buddha Dhamma doesn't reject worldly. It goes beyond worldly. That's the difference. So if you try to skip the worldly, then it doesn't work. It's like this. You're in an organization. You have to first agree to that ethics. You can't put your ethics there saying that, look, it's my way or the highway. So you have to agree to their ethics. And each organization have their own ethics and their own governance. So then there is non-disclosure agreement. So if I sign a non-disclosure agreement, I am morally and ethically bound by that. First, we need to know there's a difference between moral and ethical. Moral covers ethical, but ethical need not be moral. You understand? Moral covers ethical, but ethical need not be moral. Why? Because it's based upon society. It's based upon the value what the organization or the society or the community, whatever it is. So ethics can be defined. Moral is different. You can be moral, which makes you ethical, but need not become moral just because you're ethical. Okay. So there's a subtle difference between morality and ethical. So what we first need to do is to become moral, because ethics is part of that. So you don't have to be ethical to be moral. You be moral, then you're ethical. But we all are ethical. We have got ethics. It's a Greek word basically to say, I'm adhering to governance. I'm governed. So we have a governance. So when we say government, it means an institution which will look at the benefit of the citizens. It might not be in line with all the governments. So it need not be. So Indian tax system need not follow the American tax system, or the American tax system did not have to do a British tax system. So like that, American laws are different, Indian laws are different, Pakistani laws are different, every country's laws are different, but they are following ethics. So you can be prosecuted, you can be done this, that, as per the law. Need not be, it's got nothing to do with being moral. So what section we are following is being moral. Because if you're moral, you're ethical. But need not be that you're just ethical means you're moral. Need not be. Let's say somebody wants me to bribe someone, it is ethical. In some countries, you need to bribe, it's ethical. It's accepted. In fact, there was a project management question when I was writing an examination. There was a question. In Japan, can you give gift? And the answer is no, you can't gift. It will be treated as unethical practices. You can't gift. One. Second, can you shake a hand of a woman or a lady in the Gulf or the Muslim countries? No. It's unethical. It need not be immoral. You don't have any immorality of shaking hand, but you can't touch her hand because it's unethical. Right. So it happened to me when I was in Bahrain that I was doing a project management training program, and then I shook the hand of a lady, and she said, "Sorry, you touched my hand wrongly. If my husband was there, it would have gone somewhere." And I apologized. By evening, they complained to the training company saying that this trainer has touched the hand because it's immoral. No, it's unethical. I didn't have any moral issue with that. Right? In some countries, you can hug. It's not immoral. It's expected. But I will say, no, I don't hug. No, it is unethical. You understand? Because it's accepted. So moral is same, ethics can change. Because you define the ethics. Moral has no definition. It's moral irrespective of what you think. So when we say you have to do huta, it's being moral, not being ethical. A tradition, like in Christianity or in Islam or any of the Abrahamic religion, they don't have anything like this. So they might reject it, saying that there's no point in doing it. Or if I'm an atheist and then I say that I don't believe in all of this, fair. But it's not true. It's immoral, but it's 100% ethical. Because it's not defined by your religion, so you might not accept to it. It's fair. But immoral has got nothing to do with ethical. So first, you need to know the difference between ethical and immoral. They both are not the same. But if you're moral, you're in also ethical because you can adjust to that country, that state, that environment and adhere to what they say. That's fair. But just speaking ethical, you can't become moral. Any questions before I proceed? Anyone wants to argue with me, fight with me, or whatever with me, you can do it right now before we go to the next section, because huta is going to make you really uncomfortable. Yes, Sanil. Sanil, your raised hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So just want to ask you that, ethical means basically deals with our actions and consequences, no, sir?
But that is defined by the organization or the country or the state or family or whatever it is.
Oh, yes. So in that sense, obviously, whatever actions, if our actions are wrong, then it becomes immoral, no, sir? That it becomes immoral or not?
It may not become immoral.
Okay.
There is no one-to-one linking between ethics and morality. But however, if you are moral,
Yeah.
100%, you are 100% ethical.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I'm not in a. I'm arguing in. I'm just asking in a sense that every nation has a kind of an organized religion or religions, for instance. At the same time, we have like sects, religious traditions. Not everywhere throughout the world. If you see that there are different religious movements, for instance, so they have a different kind of a understanding of ethics, for instance. So in that context, I'm asking that, or they have a different sense of moral also. Like what they say moral maybe don't belong to another religious movement or another sector, religion and so on. So in that context, I'm just asking, I'm just confused regarding this because the moment I hear the word ethics, what comes to me is that actions and consequences. No. So in that sense, I'm asking. I don't know I'm clear or not, but just want to share this. Thank you.
No, I agree. Generally, ethics are worldly. What is acceptable according to society, law, culture, and the tradition and religious or whatever. It's all ethics, including organization, power structure, power struggle, government, everything is within that. And that's the reason it's called governance. You're governed by that. So you are expected. Like, I joined the organization which I was working earlier. I don't have to apply anything else other than what they say. Right? So I can't go back and say this is not acceptable to me. If I say it's not acceptable to me, then they say, why don't you quit the job? They're not going to change just because I don't like it. Right? So there can be a conflict between the ethics and morality.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Like if I'm working, like I will give you an example. Bribing is common, it's accepted in the society, right? It need not be ethical or unethical. It can be called unethical, but if it is accepted, it's an expectation, then you can change the law in some context. I'll give another example. I was seeing a TV program, on a YouTube, I was watching between some debates and where things have got modified. Some law has got modified. So if they modify the law, even though the organization which is promoting a particular product is immoral, unethical, but the law is changed, that means the ethics becomes non-ethics, unethical becomes ethical now because the law has been changed. But that organization, that person, that CEO, that company's owner may not know moral. There's one organization in US or a medical or a pharmaceuticals which recently has got into a lot of issues. So they have been promoting certain drug, opioid, where people are become drug addicts. They knew it, but they did it, right? It can be unethical slash immoral. But what gets highlighted is unethical, not immoral. If you're looking at profit, it need not be immoral. No, it is immoral, but it is ethical. Right? So if my government is for profit, that's ethical. like if we say industrialized nations, so I don't have to worry about the nature. So you
Yes, sir,
understand?
just to interrupt, just I remember this case while discussing like Southeast Asian countries, they promote this kind of Xiang sex tourism, for instance. So at the same time, you can see in those countries, Buddhist countries, for instance.
I know Thailand. So
Thailand, yeah.
Thailand have. Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
So initially, when I heard this, I was totally surprised, like how this may be kind of hypocrisy.
It's not hypocrisy. That's the reason I wanted to give you the difference between ethical and immoral. It's immoral,
Yes.
but need
Yes.
not be unethical. It's not unethical. It is accepted. A prostitution slash, you can call it as a massage or a spa, and also sex shows are accepted. So if you make it accepted, like in the US, you have gentleman club. In London or in Manchester, any of these places you will have, and then there are a lot of them across the globe. So
Yeah.
even in India it is there, but it is unlawful. Why?
Yeah.
Because there is no acceptance from the law. So if you're caught, then you will be penalized. But it's immoral. I don't care. It's a profession. So I accept prostitution as a profession. So if the profession is accepted, then this no longer becomes unethical. It's fine. I can have let's say I start a porn organization. The whole idea is to have pornography. It's fine. I can hire girls, I can hire men, and I can film them, I can publish it, I can charge for it, I can do whatever I want, right? As done in Western countries. If it is allowed here, I can do it. So then pornography is no longer a unethical or unlawful activity. It is very much lawful. It is very much ethical because it's accepted.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So anyone else having this? Before we start this hutta, you need to be clear between ethical and immoral. Yes, Bobby.
Well, actually, that word ethics, maybe what you're defining, trying to define, it doesn't. I feel like it is having some kind of confusion regarding that. Because you also told now that if somebody is 100% moral, and he will be 100% ethical also.
Yes.
So the way that you are saying that, the things like maybe prostitution, or you shook that lady's hand. So how that some ethics means, I think you are defining the custom or tradition, or the worldly things in that country, or those things. It can be against your moral values. So
it may or may not be. So let's first understand it. It's from a root word or Greek word ethos. Ethics is a root word is ethos. Okay. And what do you mean by ethos? It's a cultural norm, a way of living. Whatever, if you have a group, like I have a family, myself, my wife, and my son, and in our house, we don't treat three of us being husband, wife, and child. And that's my ethics. I might go against the worldly convention, or I might go with worldly convention. So if I go with worldly convention, then I have to go with the world convention, which means if somebody asks me, who is she? I can't say, I don't know who she is. Because that's being different. You can't be different. So I have to say, she's my wife. And then he's my son. And then they might ask, you just now said you don't have a wife and son. Yes. In a true sense, I don't. But from a conventional sense, I do. That conventional sense is ethos. That's ethical.
Can I So we'll ask you, like, as ethics is always, my understanding was a positive type of word, like it is kind of a word which is used in a way that, you are doing some moral principles or values, or, see, whatever I was reading even in the 20s, that, it is the right behavior, fairness and justice and all those things. So it always implies some kind of,
what I'm saying, Bobby, is that you being ethical does not promise 100% moral, but you being moral is ethical. I'm not saying it's not connected. It is. If you're moral, then you're ethical. But being ethical doesn't promise moral. Because if you're moral, you have to agree with all of these 10 immoral deeds, which you might not, because that's not your part of customs, traditions, whatever that is. So you might have a rejection. If you're moral, there's no rejection. You know for what it is. So then you can supply the norms of that country or that state or that whatever customs, tradition, etc., and then you don't have conflict. When you are immoral on one side and ethical on the other side, there can be conflict, like what we're going to have in few minutes from now. I'm promising this might take 10-15 days of discussion, which is baseless, essenceless, and just waste of time. So I want to cut this off by first understanding what is ethical, ethos, versus moral. Moral is a Latin word in that sense. It's not even a Greek word, it's a Latin word. Whereas ethics is from ethos, which is a Greek word. And when Greeks did it, they took morality into consideration, saying that, you know what, we'll create a habit or behavior pattern which is acceptable to the society. So generally speaking, it should be in line with moral, but it need not be, right? So if we come to Buddha teachings, it need not be. It doesn't really correlate in this exact sense. It's always conflicting. Eating non-vegetarian is ethical, absolutely ethical, but it need not be moral. You understand?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. I'm just,
and in Himachal, there's a place. A woman can marry 5 men. It's accepted. It's ethical because Pandavas did it, so they follow the Pandava tradition. So, like Draupadi had 5 husbands, this woman can have 5 husbands. So they have only 1 woman and 5 men. That's accepted. Second, in Meghalaya, the husband goes to the girl's house and stays instead of girl going and staying in the boy's house. That's a tradition. That's ethical. If the girl is staying with the husband, it's unethical. It's not accepted. So the girl stays at her home. The husband moves from his home into this home. Finally, in Nagaland, when they get married, they make the dog eat so much that it starts vomiting and they kill it by turning it around, and then every part of the body will just come out. And then they have a feast. That's ethical, but it's 100% immoral. I can give you more with Latin America to Mexico to Brazil to so many countries. I can give you, they all are immoral, but they're ethical.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Aryu.
I think I used to have some confusion too, but maybe I can now understand it better. Maybe I can give one example, maybe help Bobby understand. I don't know if it's right understanding. Maybe I can give.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think ethics oftentimes does not involve moral. Let's say driving on the right side of the road or left. Right. It's more conventional. Right. So I don't have to be moral to drive left right has nothing to do with moral. But having a moral compass of trying to be harmonious with everyone else, I can adhere wherever I go. I can try to adjust to that ethics. I think that's maybe what Vilas is saying. It's like having a good moral value, then you can be okay with whatever ethics there is, even if the act may not be perfectly right. You can still keep your moral compass and do it in a way that does not create friction with
Exactly. So, thing is, like what I told about shaking the woman hand, is that it was not immoral. It was I was how many ever students were there? So I was introducing and they were introducing. So we were shaking hand and there were three ladies standing and two ladies didn't have any problem and they were not from Saudi, and so they didn't have a problem. This woman came from Saudi and she had a problem. She said, "Okay, you know what? You shook my hand. So then what?" So then the training organization came and said, "Vilas, you need to follow the convention. You need to follow the norm. You didn't follow the norm. It's not acceptable." So I apologized. It's literally not anything to do with immoral. I didn't have any immoral act done by touching her hand. I didn't molest or didn't do anything to, even if I were to do it, it's immoral. Yes, I didn't do any immoral because I didn't have any intention of immorality, but it is unethical. So this difference. So with that difference, Bobby, we go to Huta. Okay? It's going to be painful for some people who confuse ethics to be moral. Yeah, Mangala, you had a question. Let me finish with you before we go ahead because you raised your hand.
When I was 50 years ago, when I was 18 years old, I attended a course given by Osho live. I saw him. And I feel he has confused, and not only he's given a lot of food for thought, because his views on morality and ethics were very, very wide. So, I mean, like you said, it's a big discussion. It can go on and on. But I'm just giving you a food. I'm giving everybody food for thought that, there is a thin line which divides morality, ethics, and spirituality. Like he was getting immorality into spirituality, at that time. He says, "Oh, the way to God is also through sexuality." That is one of his discourses. So,
Yes, I know that.
What I mean to say is, ever since I have had a very open mind, like I've never pointed fingers at people whom I felt were immoral. I thought of him, how he tried to explain that everything that you consider may not be immoral in the eyes of God, or in the eyes of spirituality. So I just wanted to state that because it is very relevant. I felt it is relevant at this moment.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. No, Buddha. So the thing is like this. Huta is immoral. It's nothing to do with ethical. That means you have to agree with that. There's no going back. I don't agree. There's nothing like that because it's immoral. No, it's not there in our tradition. I care a damn about what's there in your tradition, what doesn't exist in your tradition, but you need to accept. No, I'm an atheist. It doesn't matter whether atheist or theist or whatever it is. It's 100% to be done. So, what is that Buddha is including here? Here is first one, where many people find it rather funny, is no devas exist. Because I can't see. Show me the proof. In fact, that is there in Payasi Sutta. If somebody is interested, they can open the Sutta, Payasi, with Payasi. So, just, and the same question comes. No devas exist. What's the guarantee that deva exists? So for them, pi is a sutta. Even otherwise, whether you believe or doesn't believe, they exist. Oh, but they exist. Why they don't talk to us? Are you interacting with ants by any chance? Or with elephants or giraffes or spiders or whatever? They lead their life, you lead your life. That's a straightforward answer. But they're higher beings. I don't think so there are any higher beings. Okay, but it's 100% ethical. It has logic. That show me, then I agree. It's ethical. What is immoral? That is Bobby. I know that. You don't quote it from the sutta. I know human beings are smelly. Yeah, it is there in the Payasi Sutta. Yes. So basically, but I don't have to agree to that. Right? So agree or disagree. It's imperative to change the view. For some people, it is going to be a real challenge because they have been told that no devas exist. No higher being, forget the devas, no higher being exists. For them, it's going to be a messy ride in this hutta. And they'll try to skip. I've seen many people giving wrong discourses when it comes to this. They say, we don't know, maybe it's there. At that time it was there, this time it's not. So they'll try to cleverly mash it up. That doesn't work. It's immoral means it's immoral, but it's 100% ethical. First. Second, ancestors. Now you have a problem, especially in India. There are 22 vows of Ambedkar. And the 8th vow is about that. He says, I will not allow. So I don't have to answer or question or anything. It's their ancestors. But in the Tibetan tradition, they have a whole tradition for ancestors. And in Christianity, something is there. Muslim, every religion have their own way. But as far as ancestral thing is going, you can't reject. There are ancestors. That means it has to satisfy the following conditions. Condition 1, you need to take care of your parent in case you want a parent. Rule number 1, cannot be rejected. Okay. Rule number 2, if the son or daughter has sent off the mother or father, he has to bring them back, or she has to bring them back and serve. If not, that family will suffer financially, loss of property, health. So if somebody is mending or you want to mend it, please do it. That means if the brother and sister is there, sister has waylaid herself, the brother has to convince her to take care of the parents. And if brother is there, brother has waylaid himself, the sister should convince the brother to take care of the parents. Or they both should share the parents in whatever. Right? So 1 month here, 1 month there, 1 month here, 1 month there. And they both should convince the parent that I'm doing this because in future I don't want to suffer. So you have to give equal to the daughter, equal to the son. You can't be siding with one and rejecting the other. So the daughter and son shouldn't find fault, and the same way the mother and father shouldn't find fault, because it's time for serving. Okay, why? Ancestral property, ancestral money, ancestral possessions are ancestors. Just like we possess, they possess. If they don't let go of that possession, there is no way you're going to get it in a proper shape. You will lose. It's not after death you do something. You do. But before dying also you should do it. So it's being moral. Okay. I can give you one example. Supposing a son and a mother, the father has died, and the mother doesn't give any property to the son, and there she has two sons, and the first son or the second son has a very bitter state with the mother for not giving property. He takes two problems now. One, he will never have a mother. Two, he will never have a property. What he should do, it's not his mistake. Yes, I understand. But he can't curse. Because it's huta, offer. Okay, it's very important. So devas exist. Second one, ancestor exist. Okay, now we come to the third one. There are no planes of existence. No, there are. No, I don't agree. There are. I don't agree. There are. If it exists, let it exist. No, it's arrogance. There are. So you mean to say there are 31 planes of existence? Yes, they do. But I don't see them, irrespective of it. It's immoral. Very important. Huta, offer. You're offering because these three things exist. Devas, ancestors, planes of existence. If I do something here, how does it change there? Ask Einstein. He called it spooky at a distance. Please go and read that. I'm a very good scientist. Yes, please go and read what he has told about quantum mechanics. Spooky at a distance. Now that we have internet and we have chat GPT or whatever you can, or DeepSeek or whatever you want to have AI tool, please download it, read it for yourself, the paper. And why did he say spooky at a distance? Your action done here is going to affect somewhere. So please be sure before doing an action. You might not think as a consequence right here, but you already made a consequence right there. Okay? That's the next one. Tell me one thing. Just becoming moral, things going to work. It does. But I see world is immoral. I don't care. But it does. Have you seen it? Yes, I have. Have you experienced it? Yes, I have. At least I have experienced. And I'm 100% sure of it working instantaneously. Doesn't take time. I don't agree with you. I don't care whether you agree or disagree, or agree to disagree, disagree to agree. I don't care. But that's being immoral if you don't. Yeah. So Buddha includes devas, ancestor, 31 planes, moral networks, meaning you doing something here affects somewhere. And there is something called as spirits, which Christianity has taken it in a nice way. Spirit, Holy Spirit, that's one which affects. Okay, so Trinity, Christ, God, Holy Spirit. And that's what the meaning of spirituality means. The word spirituality, what we're using is basically from Christian, nothing to do with what we're talking today. Okay, if you say I'm spiritual, it means you're talking of Holy Spirit. And that truly exists. So these 5 things, don't forget. Devas and sister, higher planes, what you do here affects somewhere. And what you do means what? What you think here affects somewhere. That is bullshit. Maybe bullshit. Absolutely agreed. But bull is there, so shit is also there. Keep it in that way. If bull is there, it's going to do loads of shit. Take it. It's there. Okay. And then Holy Spirit is there. So if you want things to work, do Huta. Okay. So what's the difference between Ita and Huta? Ita is a personal sacrifice, that is, you give up something which is valuable to you. Huta is offering to unseen realms of existence. Okay, that's the difference between Itam and Hutam. Now, what all can be offered? Anything. So in Hinduism, we have devas and pitrus and yajna, all of that. And Islam is Allah, which is actually Al-Laha. Laha means God. Al means the God, which is unseen. And Muhammad had an angel. So the angels exist. In Christianity, same thing. Abraham. That's the reason it's called Abrahamic religion. In fact, another word to use is Abraham, is because in Indian it is Brahman, Brahma. So Brahma, not accepting to this kind, is Abrahamic. It's non-Brahminical thing. Okay. So in Christianity, we have God, saints, and heavens. That means you can make someone saint. Saint phenomena, saint, so many saints, different saints. They saints exist. They are in this realm? Yes, they are in this and that. They're both realms. Right? So the angels exist. I don't care, angels exist. You should care from today. Okay, and in Buddhism, if you take the devas and the brahmas and the petas and the rebirth and all of that is true. And Nati Huta means all these are imaginary. They have been imagined. No, they are not imagination. They are true. What's the proof? I don't believe. Doesn't matter. You don't tell me just by putting some ghee in a homa thing, things are going to change. Maybe that's your belief system. Absolutely fair, but it does. I'm a Buddhist. If you are a Buddhist, then why do you recite Ratana Sutta? Throw it in the dustbin. It exactly does the same thing what is done as yajna. If you're a Buddhist, throw the Mangala Sutta also in the dustbin. Because exactly that's what it does. You're doing Huta. Then Karani Metta Sutta, throw that out also. No, that is very, same thing. Buddha, offering. You're offering. That means there are realms higher than you, so you require to please them. But cutting an animal and putting in the fire, is it going to do anything? Yes, it does. Isn't it violence? It does. But still, it does. I don't think so. Buddha said this. But that's the meaning of Huta. Whether Buddha said to you or didn't come and say to you personally. But if you block it yourself, there's no escaping from this. Because that's part of immorality. It's michaditi. So what's the Buddha's position on Huta? Buddha did not accept blind ritual. But in the ritual, he said there are unseen realms. So work out to be there. Just don't do the ritual thinking that that is going to take you there. I agree there are subtle beings and you're offering to them the subtle beings, but they are not going to take what you're doing because you're causing injury and you're harming. If you're harming, they don't accept. That's what Buddha did. He didn't reject, but he modified the behavior of people who were doing it. They were doing it wrong rather than right. So there's nothing wrong in ritual, but just don't stick to the ritual. You should know why are you doing it in the first place. Right? And then what connects the word? Kamma. Very simple. So what he did, Chetana aham bhikkave kammam vadami. It's your intention matters. If you have a wrong intention, no matter how you do it, it's still wrong. If you have right intention, a proper intention, I don't want to use wrong and right, it's proper, improper intention. You have proper intention, it works. It affects. So you can affect. How? Rule number one, or rather, situation number one. You meet a friend. If you are moral, you'll never get into trouble. Now, let me give you an instance. I think I've spoken to Bobby, maybe you don't know. Friday, I think Friday or Saturday, whatever day, since we are getting this house painted, and then we installed a water heater in one of the bathroom which was not working, so we installed it. And by mistake, we opened the tap or the valve of the we have a solar panel, but I have not installed it. But they're given the pipe. So in case if you use it, you can get a solar from the heater, you can get solar, meaning you can get hot water through the solar connection. By mistake, we had opened the valve. And in the kitchen area, we have closed, we don't have a pipe there. Sorry, we don't have a tap there. We have closed the tap. So water started seeping onto the below floor where my friend stays. In the night, he called me up saying that, Vilas, I don't know what's happening from your house. From the kitchen, we are getting water, drips of water. It was just one drop and then it became many drops and spread to dining area. So they were concerned. So we went up and closed the valve to the kitchen so that nobody gets water. But on the contrary, it didn't stop. It increased. So next day morning, he was filled with water dripping. And then my wife said that we had this solar thing, I think because we installed that new heater, maybe there's some issue. So we closed both the valves now. And it stopped. Initially, we were to remove the whole kitchen area and try to see where the problem is. That means that plumber is going to come and is going to cut off everything. And then we were thinking, oh my God, this was going to be a messy affair. But in not even 24 hours, it ended. Okay, it's no, not even a rupee has been spent. Forget the dollar and pounds or whatever, not even a rupee. Nothing spent. The water stopped. That's it. Over. It was more of a negligence or ignorance, whatever. But we understood, oh, this is problem. We fixed it. Now, how did it work? And we can say, yeah, that's logical. Yeah, but agree, but you have to get that idea. So we need to look it from a different perspective. And it's very important that we understand what is Huta offering. Why do we offer? Okay. So we might say that, by doing this, what's going to happen? No, it's going to happen. For sure. Because worldly is going to work. Okay, so then karma connects the world. Yes, that's what we did. So good karma gives good results. So we've been doing good. It's not going to suffer. I've been telling my wife, don't worry, you will not suffer. What does that mean? If I don't go back to work, she's not going to suffer. Because the thinking will be there, what's going to happen still will be there. Nothing to worry. Okay. And last one is consciousness. Sixth jhana, infinite consciousness. If you want to get there into arupa realm, this is a necessity. As long as you feel, I don't want to get into these jhanas, that's fine. Then you are out of Buddha Dhamma also. Because if your idea is to go to all the realms, then you need to do what is said, follow the process. So we need to follow it. Okay. So Ati Uttam. So giving to the Sangha leads to Deva rebirth. In the same way, giving to the saints will give you good rebirth. Doing Ramadan will give you good rebirth. All of that is Huta as well. Because you're offering. Fine. And then supporting the Dhamma is going to give you higher planes of existence. In the same way, praying to gods, deities, etc., going to give you that realm, that existence. So it's Huta, offering. I'm offering. So what it appears today is scientific materialism. Only atoms exist. God is a particle. I found a God particle. Such one kind of wrong understanding. Second, cynical. All gods are mythical. Third one, ethical isolation. Who is watching? No one. If it is not there in the law book, that's it. There's nothing called invisible thing. Fourth one, negligence. Since no thing exists other than current, I don't think so it's worth talking about it. Fifth one important for all of us. No jhana exists, and Buddha did not teach jhanas. Fifth A in that is without anicca dukkha anatta knowledge, jhanas shouldn't be done. It's again a misconception. B, talking ill about Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. Many people do it. I've seen it. They discount it. Just like, they have done much better than them. It's horrible. They're taking more than what they can chew. You can't, or anyone can disrespect a teacher. And Buddha never disrespected a teacher. So shouldn't do it. C, without jhanas, you can't go anywhere. Because that's offering. You're going to be stuck thinking that, this is all what it is. So if you want to go beyond this, you need to learn jhanas. Simple. And there are two kinds of jhanas, ariya, anariya, and we will come to that later. But first finish what should be done. Worldly. Sammaditthi. In Mahachattariska Sutta, the first one is Sammaditthi. Lokiya has to be done before you attempt Lokuttara. It's like somebody didn't have a bridge and he just wanted to jump into the river thinking that he can swim. It's not possible. So you should go step by step. I think with that, I can end, or I can even say what happens with this wrong view. Rebirth is denied, so you get many rebirths. Karma weakens, so you do wrong karma. The urgency for liberation vanishes, so you will continue the cycle. There's nothing called sense restraint, and you will only have disbelief. Doesn't turn into faith. Without saddha, there can't be virya. Without virya, there can't be sati. Without sati, there can't be samadhi. Without samadhi, there can't be panya. And that ends the movie. So it's up to you. I think I've taken exactly 1 hour. So I've covered all the 5 indriyas. Yes, Mrutyunjay, go ahead.
This talk is very piercing, sir. It is going to take so much of wrong business and takes out all those things. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Sure. These are called prerequisites before we go to the battle. I think we have gone into the battle and now we are coming back and doing the prerequisites. Yes, go ahead again.
Sir, just a thought, sir. Nowadays, we are coming to know something about multiverse. Is it something related with this? You are judging that it affects somewhere.
Yes.
Is it like that?
What is multiverse in Pali is Chakavala.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Uni is singular. See, always you remember it's either Greek origin or Latin. Latin origin is uni. Verse is cycle. Universe means one single. Multi means two or many. So multiverse means many cycles. And what does Buddha says? Chakkavala. So what do we recite? Samanta chakkavalesu atra gacchantu devata saddhamma munirajasa sunantu swaggamaggadam dhamma savanakalo ayam bhadanta. Bobby, hope you are clear now. You should put ghee in that or not put in that. The best offering is oneself. Leave
Yeah, Vilashi, what I understand is that you don't disrespect others' belief, but you don't have to do it, right? Because you can oneself
No,
offer it.
wait a second. You have to accept. You should know why you're accepting it. It's not out of belief you're accepting it. You have faith and hence you're accepting it. If you go by belief system, it doesn't work. This is their belief system. No, you know the reason.
No, what I mean is everybody's whatever they're doing. Like if I try to understand everything, this life is not enough to understand all the beliefs, different
That's
belief
fine.
systems, right?
You should know the logic. Sometimes we say it is illogical. That you have to stop.
No, that I stopped.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I come along with you and Marin and to Kerala, to your hometown, let's say when you are in Bangalore, and you take me to a church or somewhere, maybe you will not, and somebody will take me to the church, and then I need to accept if it is Anglican church or it is Baptist or this or that or whatever, I need to appreciate all of them, not disregarding, disrespecting, even if it is Catholic or non-Catholic, Orthodox, unorthodox, whatever it is. I should know that there is. Same way, when I went to Abu Dhabi, when I was in Abu Dhabi, we went to the mosque there. And when I was Sharjah, I'd gone to the mosque. It's a beautiful one. So I need to accept to it. There is. There is benefit in being in Islam. There's benefit. And there's a benefit being a Christian. There's a benefit in being a Hindu or a Muslim, a Buddhist or Jain or whatever it is. I shouldn't disrespect, hate. Two things. They don't go together. Just throw it out. There's nothing disrespectful. And there's nothing hating. I hate these people. No, nothing. If I go to temple, I do exactly what a normal person would do.
So Vilashi, since you are saying that, like some people also believe that even killing human beings, for God is also an offering, right? So you accept that also?
Offering is offering.
Okay. Anyway, so that clears a lot of our own arguments also, the personal arguments. So
the thing, what you need to do is, what did Buddha do? He didn't stop the ritual. He just told them how to use ritual in a proper way so that you don't require the ritual for liberation. You understand? What are we doing is we are trying to go back to a place. So we are saying there is Trinity. God is there and there's a Holy Spirit and there's a Jesus who is going to teach me how to go to heaven. And there is Muhammad, then there is God, and there is the mullahs who are going to teach me how I can go to the God. Right? And the same thing with different. But they do it differently because they don't know how to go back. So what Buddha did is, ethics are fine, but come to the morality. If you're moral, you go back. That's all what he taught.
yeah.
So since we are on this path, Bobby, I don't think so we need to worry about if somebody kills a human being and offers, or he offers whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Can you offer yourself completely?
Yes.
If yes, you're an arhat. That ends the journey. That's all what I wanted. Done. Now, I don't care whether somebody does this way or does that way. Yourself should not be there. So after the self is gone, Bobby, I'm becoming more proficient is what I'm feeling. Now, if I look back those videos, I don't really believe that I was talking all of this nonsense. It was most untimely, and many of our arguments, I feel I could have saved my energy.
Was it all waste?
No, it's not waste. I still feel, now I feel very childish guy, very childish.
Yes, it helped me, Malashi.
I know it helped you, and with RU, I used to have a battlefield itself with barrels. So I feel very sorry that, or I really feel touched that this guy from 2019, he has, tolerated. I feel really uneasy now, actually, that I feel I've troubled so much to RU. Of so many people, but now even including Lata, I think more than more than what she gained. I think I have literally tortured her with so many misconceptions which I had. In fact, I have made her cry as well. So it's funny now if I look back and see. I really feel sorry for what I did. Yeah, sorry, Lata, go ahead.
No, you're growing up, right? Becoming spiritually mature. But all the times you were much ahead of all of us. That's much I can say. So
I know that. Yeah, that I agree. But it was like in a high schooler talking of PhD. Now I can really talk.
Yeah.
So then I agree with Buddha's viewpoint that you complete the journey first before you talk. And that's, I think, that we should do. We should finish it. When you finish it, you know the obstacles, what you're going to come, and how to handle them, and you can guide people rather than being an obstacle myself, and I'm trying to teach other person how to remove the obstacle. There are not two obstacles rather than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all thanks to Bobby and Shaniel for making me. I should go around, and then one day they said, Vilasji, put it in a points. So I took a whiteboard and then I started writing, because that's what I do the best. So I took a whiteboard from Shaniel and then started writing it down. Then the magic worked. Otherwise, I could have.
Shaniel and Bobby had a finishing school for Vilas.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, this was, I think, a great thing of going to Australia. Like I told Shaniel, I don't think so. You have earned much by I being there. Rather, it has benefited me more than anybody else, to be honest. Because
to be honest, I am hearing you talking some basic things after your retreat in Brisbane. Otherwise, you're always talking some.
No, my assumption is that everybody knows it.
Everybody is there, yeah. So you talked about first jhana, second jhana, and all. People don't even understand what is that. That is itself is a very high state.
Yeah, for me, I always had this conception that they have done so many retreats, so they know everything. It's fine. So I can just tell them from the top, and do this way, that way, and now I feel no, it's not. They don't even know anything. So let me start from the base, each one, and then we'll spend time.
That's good.
Yeah. Yes, Sanil, I think you want to talk. He wanted to talk. I don't know. Now Uday.
Thank you very much, sir, for bringing out this debate on morality and ethics. That with reference to Buddha's teaching. When you've been narrating this experience about this solar panel, right? And I was sort of thinking that in our home also, couple of things happened a few years before. And I just want to share this experience that in all the flats that there is a earning system, and suddenly the rain came late night, and Sunil said that the current is coming. I took it a bit lightly because staying in this
I think
part of India, he has like people not here professional, they don't complain. Yeah. So then I took it very lightly. But the next day, I noticed that the current was flowing every flat. And I immediately took action that going to everyone's home and said that not to touch the taps. And then I called the electrician. And the matter was resolved. But it was almost been like 20 hours, right? And each of us need water, right? But then I was wondering this incident, and I was sort of relating with the devas, what you said in the realms that when we do this. And I mean, there are 2-3 incidences happened in our life which were very, very shocking. Like I happened to meet with accident also. And I was like, I broke my hand and I was thinking that how can I drive? Suddenly some unknown person came and dropped me. And friction of second, the moment I was just using the phone with the other hand, disappeared. I mean, this was something, I said, just please wait. And I just was, just sort of, in the parking, I said that just wait, park, and just coming. So no expectation, and I was hesitant to say that how could I say this, that thank you, in what way I should express my gratitude to this person who timely came and dropped me. Absolutely unknown. So, earlier I never used to believe this. As, sort of step by step, I'm understanding, growing into, in practice and this thing, I could see certain things which happens. So one can relate with that. I don't know whether, I'm making sense or not. But
no, you're making sense. It's fine. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. See, when we have most of the experiences, we don't really know that somebody is behind it. We think we are doing it. It need not be. It's always somebody is behind you. And that somebody can be a bad being or a good being. We need to be clear. So if you are on a good side, you will get some help all the time.
Yeah. And second things are that I must also accept that, because I'm a person who used to even make an argument what is right every time. Other day, in the Hindi class I was explaining. So in department, like for everything should go in a correct manner. I'm still like that, but now I learn one thing, that what time I should speak and what time I should be silent. So this is, I mean, as I'm going into Dhamma, that I realize that because every time we don't need to explain to someone that this is right and wrong. So to leave it to their karma is our karma. That we should not interfere. I think that's also been the right way sometime. Not all the time. But
yeah, you need to take a judicious action. Even I'm like that. I'm more impulsive person.
I've been called as a very khadus Marathi woman in the entire university, because I mean, with the very high authority also, administrative person, when I was in sexual harassment committee also. I took action where I was about to, sort of lose my job also. But then I said, no, I will not. So I've been raised the question at several points. But then I think that ultimately what says is right, that when you walk on the true path with honesty and sincerity, it helps you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, good then. So we'll take tomorrow on the next one. So Bobby, I'm not going to take any more on Hutta. Yeah, Lata, you wanted to say something?
No. I don't say. I was just smiling at Bobby.
Okay, yeah, he had that question. So it's like this. To conclude these three things, Dinna is to give. That means there's benefit in giving, and the best benefit is selflessness. The second one is Ita, is to sacrifice, do the self-sacrifice. And Huta is offering. You offer yourself. That will take you to Brahma. Yes, Sari.
Since you're not going to cover this tomorrow, I just want to ask this. These three things, you have to be very careful and subtle to understand the differences.
Yes.
Right. There are examples of someone, like in the Catholic story, a poor person offered his only meal to Buddha. In these cases, all three are happening. So you have to see which part are, which like you have to discern to see.
Yeah. So I will also cover. Yesterday in the Australian, Bobby had asked me to join the TMI group, so I had joined. It's like the 10 parmis also work the same way. First is dana, is generosity, offering. So when you start to see that you can give comfort to the other person, even as a speech or as some gestures or something, you're making him or her happy, right? So then when you make it, but first you should be happy to make that other person happy. Assuming you're doing that, you're doing dana. So dana will increase Śīla, because then if you are not self, you're selfless, there's no way you can break the Śīla. Only when you have selfish attitude, you will break the Śīla. So it turns into Śīla. And when you are not having any problems of Śīla, you will renounce yourself. The self is renounced. So nekkhamma. Because there is nekkhamma, comes panya, wisdom, that what is to be done and what shouldn't be done. So this panya. Now you get virya, which is energy, effort. You put effort to get out of the samsara. This 5 on one hand. Okay. And I'll cover other 5. Khanti, patience, forbearance. Then bahu satya, it's called satya, is finding the truth, the true meaning of everything. Then you get adhitthana, determination. So you determine the real thing that needs to be found in this world is nibbana. Then when you get it, you give yourself metta. Okay, so then you get completed the Brahma Vihara. Means you are now in Brahma realm forever. In the human body, but in the Brahma realm. Last one is Upekha. So if I close it like this, it becomes Namaste. So I have had all the 10 paramis. So I was telling them, if somebody says to you, you don't have parami, ask them which one. That person will be stumped. Or if I use the cricket language, he will be bold. Because it's not true. Don't accept if somebody says you don't have parami. Question him. Do you know what is parami? So if I do like this, I have all the 10. 5 in one hand, 5 in another. So start with dana, ends with upekha. Dana, Śīla, nekkhamma, panya, virya, khanti, satya, adhitthana, metta, upekha. It's not about taking pots and something will get filled up here and filled up here and filled up here. And it takes many lives to fill up. Nothing. You give up yourself, the first one, dana, land up in upekha. That's it. In steps. So now when I say that's it, doesn't mean from here you're jumping there. Dana, Śīla, Śīla, nekkhamma, nekkhamma to panya, panya to virya, Virya to Khanti, Khanti to Satya, Satya to Adhitthana, Adhitthana to Metta, Metta to Upekha. Step by step by step by step. And when you're in Upekha, you're done. Journey ends. Now my journey is ended. I can replay it as many number of times now. I can see this side to that side, meaning I can go back from Upekha to Metta to Adhitthana, Adhitthana to Satya to Khanti. I think now my patience has increased, to be honest. And my previous videos, if I see that person to be very impatient, actually. Then Panya, wisdom was low because Virya was not balanced. So then the other three. So now I can see this side and that side, both sides. Anyway, that helped me for my 40 plus days stay with two of these people. Otherwise, it would have been confrontational because Shaniel's lifestyle is totally different than mine. I can't stop talking. He cannot stand talking. So it's a very adverse effects. And Bobby's in between. He can't stop talking. He wants somebody with that. Anyway, it was good. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow with the next one. Next one is as important as these three. You offer yourself, so you get the other two. Now you start with Dinna, then you get Itha, then Uta. Clear? Okay. Good day, good night, and good evening. Oh, good afternoon. Bye.